The purpose of business is to satisfy customers, not pacify customers. A lot of businesses think that pacifying customers is what it's all about. Customers always right. About what? What are they right about? There's only one thing the customers right about, and that's how they wish to be treated. Thank you very much. But they don't know about optometry, and they don't wish to know. They were hoping you would know and pass that information on. That's why we have to be careful about the lies in business. No one meant for them to be lies, such as knowledge is. Never has been, never will be. Giving knowledge is power, not having knowledge. Knowledge doesn't belong to you, it belongs to those you serve. It's about as simple as that. And so apart from being very good at merchandising products, we also have to be very good at merchandising knowledge. The moment you realize that you must give knowledge, then you must ask yourself, how should I give knowledge? Which is the beginning of the art of communication. Not even to keep customers. That's not a goal of the business. Not to keep customers, but to develop customers, because if you develop customers, then you will deserve to keep them. That's the way it works. So customer retention is weak compared to customer development. To sell far more than you charge for. What does a restaurant sell? Just quickly. Food. It's the first thing you think of, isn't it? But here today, we're here to think beyond the first level of thought. It can't be food, because if it was food, it would be the most expensive place in all the world to buy food. So sometimes people say, well, it's service. Well, if it was service, we'd be going there to meet the staff. Will we meet the staff? Yes. Are we going there to meet the staff? No. So let's not make it complicated. Why then do we go to a restaurant? What are we going there for? Yes, good time, pleasant experience with family, with friends, with business associates, yes or no? It's very simple when you think about it. So what a restaurant sells and what we buy is a pleasant experience. But what do we get charged for on the way out? Food and drink. So in a restaurant, there is a classic value gap. The distance between what is sold, pleasant experience, versus what is charged for, food and drink. That value gap in our society is acceptable, understood, and very much appreciated. But the news is that many businesses don't have a value gap. What they sell basically equals what they charge for. And when that happens, there are many problems. The first problem is that customers don't complain about it because they don't know about the value gap. So it's critical to have a value gap. Have you read in recent times about the problems facing bookstores? Yes? Okay, well, they've got this problem because they don't have a value gap. What they sell is books and what they charge for is books. So people now buy online and so forth and so on. What do taxis sell? Travel. What do they charge for? Travel. No value gap. That's why the limousine industry has blossomed and boomed in recent years. They charge for travel. They use the same documentation, cab charge, but they don't sell travel. They sell a superior service. They'll meet you at the airport. Is your time money? They'll save you maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. They'll help you with your luggage. The car is clean. Imagine that. Is it not fair to say that in Australia we do most things very well? What happened to taxis? About a year ago they introduced emission controls, but unfortunately it only applies to the vehicle. I was in Melbourne recently, and as we got close to the city, I was in a taxi. The driver went through 3 consecutive red lights. My heart was in my mouth. And then strangely he stopped at a green light. I said, why have we stopped here? He said, you never know when another cab could be coming through. Then it all made sense. And we got to the hotel. I said, thank you very much. He said, that's my pleasure. I said, I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to God. What happens to people in a business when they sell more than they charge for? They buy what it is they're trying to sell. And that's the basis of real selling. Real selling is buying what it is that you have to sell. You feel sorry for people who do not do business with you. That's how you feel about it. And again, I don't mean in an arrogant sense. Very important. Have you ever noticed that when a friend or a relative has read a book or seen a film and they absolutely loved it and they want you to enjoy it as much as they have, that number one, they don't ask permission to tell you about it, and number two, they don't take all day? That's it. That's it. It's no more complicated than that. It's got nothing to do with sales techniques and that sort of nonsense. My own brother was recommending a book to me recently. My brother is older than I am and quite ugly. Well, he can't help that. And he is ugly. He's ugly in a special kind of way, really. He's got a flattish sort of head. Some of his facial features are flat. It's awful, really. But anyway. So he was recommending a book to me, and because he's older than I am, he talks to me in a patronizing way. So this is how my brother recommended a book to me recently. John, have you read the book written by Hitler's secretary on life in the bunker before the fall of Berlin? No. I said, is it good? He said, it's very good. You get the book. You get the book. And I said, okay, I'll get it. When? When are you getting the book, John? We'll get it right away. You get the book. This is how my brother recommends books to me. I'm not advocating you do this, by the way. And we used to be like that as boys. We used to fight hammer and tongs, but I always won because I had the hammer. Maybe that's why he's got a flat head. So you're not dealing with customers, you're dealing with people. We can call them customers, doesn't matter, it's got nothing to do with it. But treat customers as people, never treat people as customers. All opportunity, all potential lies with people, not with customers. The word customer means buyer. So have a guess what buyers are interested in. Price and convenience. That's what they're supposed to be interested in. Customers consider service to be an entitlement. It's about as simple as that. They're not meeting in a park today trying to figure out how to get better service from you. You either give it or you don't. And by the way, if you don't give good service, they have special ways of punishing you. How can they punish you? Just quickly, over to you. Yeah, they could stop doing business with you. Anything else they could do to hurt you? They could tell other people, yes? The worst thing they could ever do to you or to me is not tell us, okay? Because if they don't tell you, then you're going to operate from a base called ignorance, and ignorance is not bliss. It's extremely painful. First call I ever made was so bad, it's with me to this day. I know exactly what I said, I know exactly what the customer said, it was embarrassing, it was almost humiliating. But as I walked out of the place that I went into, almost as quickly as I'd entered, by the way, I said to myself, I did that wrong. So I hope you're in the habit of saying that to yourself. Not in a neurotic way, but in a professional manner. I did that wrong. There's an old saying, it's amazing how much they changed since I changed.